EGM Network.
Treasure Coast Connector. Connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. This episode is partially sponsored by Libby Weissman and her team at SeniorTransitionNavigator.com and LuxuryHomesOfTheTreasureCoast.com. They work with seniors and their families, helping them to make decisions to live their best lives in their golden years. And there's different services that they offer, like downsizing, decluttering, packing, moving, relocation, estate sales, and so much more. To get a free consultation with Libby, all you have to do is call 772-783-2800 or visit SeniorTransitionNavigator.com and LuxuryHomesOfTheTreasureCoast.com. So we're at the start of the new year, and some people are focused on stopping a bad habit or improving their career or working on their health, including their mental health. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Joining me in the studio is the Executive Director of the Mental Health Collaborative of Indian River County, Wes Samons, and he has a lot to share with us today. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, you've been on the show once before, and your organization, your nonprofit, is very unique because it's this portal collaborative, and we're going to get into the specifics of that. But before we do, what made you want to get into this world of nonprofits, mental health, and,
Yeah, just helping people in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of, for whatever reason, that's always been something that's been interesting to me. And maybe my background playing team sports could be, like you're always working together as a team to problem solve something.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of bled into my professional career and my interest in mental health. And, 25 years now of working in this field in some capacity, and helping to, help people to identify ways to improve their life and work on things that they can do for themselves to live a happy life.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And we're going to, again, dive more into the mental health, but I think we're getting even further along in the understanding of our physical health. We take care of that when we're hurting, like dislocating. We were talking about, our hands, and one of your friends needed surgery on their hands. It's like, yeah, I need to move my thumb. We also need a good brain, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm glad we're going to be talking about that momentarily. But the holidays, they are just behind us now. And, a lot of people struggle during that time. So what's one piece of advice that you could share to help people during that time?
Sure. And it's something that I think people in the mental health field kind of understand, that the holidays can be rough for not only their themselves and their families, but also their clients and their families. And usually, the main thing that we want to focus on is self-care and making sure that you're not burdening yourself with trying to make everyone's holidays a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And, now that that's over, you can kind of decompress and maybe go into a new year, getting back into your routine as quickly as possible. The things that, are normal. It's kind of a normalcy thing, kind of the same things we talk about after like a hurricane or something, trying to get back into a normal pattern, a normal behavior. That usually helps us to kind of quiet our minds and then, get back into a settling state of mind.
Yep, I like that a lot. So now the story of the Mental Health Collaborative, how it got its start. So this was community leaders initially back in 2004 had this vision of getting together. So just give us a little bit of the initial story, the starter story.
I think that kind of covers it. I think the stakeholders in our community, kind of, law enforcement, mental health providers, kind of came together and said, we want to have an organization that can look at the state of our mental health in our county. Mm-hmm. And look at what gaps are there, what gaps need to be filled, and then problem solve. And then the organization kind of grew from there. And then, 7 years ago, we started the McCabe Connection Center. That's actually 8 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the Connection Center, and that was an extension of that thought of how we can help the residents of our county to access the services that we have. So it's a lot of problem solving, and that's still kind of the case today. We consider ourselves a backbone organization that wants to convene the community around mental health issues, mental health literacy for our community, and then try to, help solve the problems that are out there.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because, you got your start in 2004. 2001 was a tough time, with the trade towers and the attack on the United States. And that opened up, I think, this whole doorway of people here being scared, not sure what was going to happen next. And it led to a whole host of problems that the community leaders here were like, wait a minute, we need to do something about that. And now what's going on in the world too. Yeah. We're in this other season after COVID of people getting upset.
Yeah, that's right. There's always some kind of something that that happens in society that makes people to focus on their own health and their own mental health, and whether it be a broader scale event that happens or something that happens locally, whether it could be a natural disaster like we were talking about earlier, or something like some type of man-made disaster that happens, that again helps us, or doesn't help us, but it causes us to kind of focus on our own health and how we can get through situations like that.
Absolutely. Okay, so now the mission, I just needed to read this here. The mission is to create a seamless continuity of care, bringing together funders, providers, government, and other partners. So now that you touched on that, what does that actually look like in practice in the real world? Sure.
So I think that with the continuity of care, we're wanting to make sure that when people need help, they don't fall through a crack in some situation. Let's say that someone's incarcerated, maybe they start a medication for their mental health while they're in jail. We want to make sure that when they leave the jail, that continues. If they had a therapist there, we want to make sure that continues as well. Maybe they're in mental health court, and so they're receiving therapy through that system. Okay. Once they have completed that program, we want to make sure that, once they go home, what happens now? Same thing with the Baker Act, right? So if someone is in our behavioral health center and they're there for 3 days, we want to make sure that once they leave there, they still have the supports that they need to be successful in life. And identifying ways, what gaps are there and ways to bridge those gaps is something that we're always working on and always trying to improve.
Yeah, and then sometimes a family member or a friend will see someone struggling and they don't know what to do. So that's why your organization was formed. So somebody could call you as the start of, I don't know where to turn.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the main thing that we do with the Connection Center, is that we are able to link people to the necessary services. So you can call and say, I have a family member that I think, needs to have an intake at a place, for mental health services. And you can start that process for them and make it easy for them instead of having to try to find what to do on the internet. And then in that example that you gave of not knowing, what to do for a friend or a family member, the other thing that we do is mental health literacy services by programs like mental health first aid that we do for the community, and we have trained trainers in that, and now we've trained over 1,500 community residents on how to identify a friend or a family member that may be in a crisis, and then how to support them without feeling like they're going to make the situation worse.
Right.
So that's what that program does.
Very good. And then another group I just thought of, well, two other groups are single moms that, don't have a lot of support. So I don't know if that's a good, place to look, or I guess a group to look at. And then sometimes seniors, that are isolated.
Sure. And both of those groups, there are support groups, and that's some of the things that we're always trying to look at, is what support groups do exist in the community and how we can link people to those types of groups. A peer support, so someone who has lived experience in any type of situation, whether it be another senior or, another single mom, like you said, getting feedback and advice and recommendations from someone who has that same experience of what you're going through is always helpful. And it's something that you see a lot, with substance use disorder. So, talking to someone else who has gone through that, and now that they're on the other side of the situation that you're currently in is always more impactful. So, yeah.
Okay. So before we go to commercial break for the first half, share your contact information if somebody wants to reach out or even read up on your website.
Sure, absolutely. So the website is mhcollaborative.org, and our phone number is 772-217-3663.
Very good. And with that, we're 30 seconds early, Cindy. She's so proud of me. We have a lot more to discuss. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Vero Beach is out and alive. Music's playing, people are dancing, the dance floor's packed. It's the Sunset Saturday Concert. Fun and free for all on Ocean Drive. With live music by Johnny and the Blaze, food, wine, and beer. Presented by GHO Homes, Vero Beach Chamber of Commerce, Sunshine Furniture, and Mulligan's Beach House. The Sunset Saturday Concert. Saturday, January 10th at 5 p.m. at Humiston Park on Ocean Drive, Vero Beach. Now that's the life.
There's one Broadway musical critics are calling despicable, diabolical, unseemly, and, oh yes, ingenious. The New York Times calls it amongst the most inspiring musical in years. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Don't miss the bloody brilliant winner of the Tony Award for Best Musical and the new undisputed king of musical comedy. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder starts January 9th at the Riverside Theater. Get tickets now at the box office or riversidetheater.com.
The Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival is back, January 15th through the 18th. Brought to you by Millennium Cremation Service. Enjoy frog legs and gator tail, hundreds of booths with unique gifts, great live music, and a midway of carnival rides and games galore. Admission and parking are free, thanks to our community partner, Marine Bank. The Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival, January 15th through the 18th. Visit froglegfestival.com.
Evergreen Media is your go-to for podcasting. Business owners, boost your brand by educating clients with your own show. Just show up. We handle everything else. Get your custom video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and more. Start today at egreenmedia.com.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I'm with Wes Samons, the Executive Director for the Mental Health Collaborative of Indian River County. And so we did this high-level overview of the organization and how you've brought leaders together. But you have a whole group, and on your website, it's a whole list of organizations that help people with all sorts of mental health issues. So if you can talk a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's in our name, right? The Mental Health Collaborative. And that's what we try to do is collaborate with all the great providers that we have in our community, both public and private. And just to make sure that they have the necessary means so that they can be successful to reach our residents. Whether that be with, we have a grant to help with recruitment and retaining of quality therapists for our community nonprofit providers. So important, yeah. So important. We're very thankful for Johns Island Community Service League to allow us to work with them on this strategic grant that's in its second year now.
Oh, very nice.
And all of our community nonprofit providers, and there are 8 in our community, they're all participating, and they all have therapists that are in the program. And so it's just looking again at what can we do to help make sure that we have the volume of quality therapists in our community to reach our residents.
And then, so what are some of the other services that you offer? If you want to go into a little more detail.
So one of the new ones that I would like to talk about is our Therapy Resource Initiative program. So it's kind of an expansion of the McCabe Connection Center. So we run the McCabe Connection Center, as I mentioned earlier, and what we do with the connection centers, we literally connect people to the resources that they may need in the community. And it can be mental health, it can be help with insurance, SNAP benefits, things like that. So it's not just mental health, kind of whole health, because we kind of take that whole body approach, the biopsychosocial approach to health. But with with the expansion is now we're trying to meet people where they are in the community as well. So the Therapy Resource Initiative literally is a partnership with other nonprofits in our community that don't they don't supply therapy resources. So for instance, Youth Guidance is one of our partners.
Okay.
So obviously Youth Guidance is an amazing organization.
Oh, yeah.
And they do a lot of great things for our children in our community. They don't have therapy as part of those services. So we partner with them to have a therapist on site when needed, and also to kind of be there as support, to offer some life skills type classes for the kids that go there. And so that's one of the initiatives that we've done. We also have partnered with a caring center for women and literacy services to have programs for their residents that use those services as well. So
yeah, I like that. The Gifford Youth Organization came up in a conversation in another event that I attended on Wednesday, and they were, bragging about the education program to help kids understand about the job opportunities that are out there and the different types of the secondary education that you would need. It's not always about college, right?
Right.
So as these kids are learning about their job opportunities, then they have to eventually learn how to adult. Okay. And there are adults that need adulting classes.
Absolutely.
And every now and then it's fun to take a break from adulting. And I make light of that.
Right.
But with adulting comes pressure. And then with that pressure, that's another reason why you're here to help.
Sure. And, mentioning adulting and helping, let's say, parents, because a lot of the feedback that we get from various needs assessments is parents looking for resources and ways to help, not only to just be a better parent, but, their own mental health and how to improve in those areas. So through the Thrive Coalition, we partnered with Cleveland Clinic and the school district, and we developed the Parent Academy. And so the Parent Academy is essentially for parents to come and learn different tools for their toolbox. So we've done we try to do it twice a year. We've done it twice last year. And then this year, the first one will be in the spring. We try to do a spring and fall. We don't have a theme yet for this spring, but we'll be advertising that obviously, but it's just to help parents to learn resources that are out there and how they can become better parents and help with communication with their kids and things like that.
That's great, because children do not come with a user manual.
That's right.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be nice if they did?
That's right.
But all kidding aside, what are you looking forward to for 2026? What is happening in your world that you're excited about?
Well, there's a lot of exciting things. Obviously, like trying to continue to expand the therapy initiative is something that we're really looking forward to. Expanding the organizations that we partner with. So we're excited about how that's looking so far. I mentioned Parent Academy, so to continue to develop that. The last one we did was on neurodivergent learners, so children that may be on the autism spectrum or, have attention deficit disorder, those types of learners. And we got great feedback from that event, so we're hoping to continue to expand on helping parents to get education in that area as well. And then just to continue to branch out with the recruitment and the retaining of quality therapists with the educational pieces we can do with that. We recently partnered with OCD Central and South Florida to have the OCD weekend here on the island. So that was it was a well-ran event. It was great. We had some experts in the area of OCD and eating disorders that came, and it was very educational. So we're hoping we can partner with them again and other organizations like that to bring more quality educational events to the community.
Yep, I love that. Now, you referenced Johns Island, and they're a great help in helping with this grant program. But on your website, there is, I believe it is in the upper right-hand corner, there is a donate button. So I would like to give you the opportunity to explain that a little bit more, because you're a nonprofit. So are you looking for, like, how can the community help you? And I'm going to say about businesses, I'm assuming businesses as well as individuals, right?
Yeah. So, we are a nonprofit, like you mentioned, and so we basically run solely on donations and grants and things like that. So we're really trying to focus on membership and how we can increase our membership and have more people, be invested in what we do at the collaborative. So if you were a business or a person who wants to be a member of the collaborative, and with that membership, you can attend our membership meetings, which we have 4 times a year.
Quarterly, yeah.
Yeah, and you can vote on, who's on the board and the board slate and things like that. So this gives you a stake in what happens in the community for mental health and being involved in the conversations, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would love to have people to click on that button and donate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what else I'm thinking about? And I'm looking into the camera at all the business people that are looking back at me, because I can see you. But I love to joke. But, here's what I think, that a lot of business people that I've met over the years, they like to get behind causes in the community. They like to be able to give back to things, right?
Right.
And if you think about it, business owners, because I was in recruiting and staffing, they want their workers to come to work. They want them to be engaged and like what they're doing at work, but they also need them, if there's issues going on at home, knowing how to just leave that at home. So when people are happy and healthy physically and mentally, it makes it better in the workplace. So I think that this is a great way, if there's any businesses out there that are looking to give back to the community.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we could always partner with those businesses as well to maybe have a training for their staff. We've done that with different organizations where we'll have a mental health first aid training. It's a 6-hour course that we could come and provide to the staff, and we get really good feedback from those classes. So that would be great.
Yep.
It's a win-win situation.
I love that. And we're almost out of time. We have 2 minutes? Are you going to give me 2 minutes? There and about. So if you could give your contact information again in the second half.
Sure, absolutely. So it's the Mental Health Collaborative. The website is mhcollaborative.org. And the phone number is 772-217-3663. You can always stop by our office, 2345 14th Avenue. So we're basically downtown, right off the go line. So public transportation is right there.
Yeah.
And we're there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 business hours, and you can walk in and gather resources from us. So
yep. So I got the official 2-minute warning. So I'm going to take a little bit of time just to say thank you again to Libby Weissman, SeniorTransitionNavigator.com, LuxuryHomesOfTheTreasureCoast.com. Libby is a senior herself, so she understands that there are lots of decisions to be made to live your best life in your golden years. So her phone number, she loves to meet with people and talk to them, 772-783-2800, SeniorTransitionNavigator.com, LuxuryHomesOfTheTreasureCoast.com. And so is there anything else before we totally run out of time that you would like to touch on? One more
real
thing.
quick, since you mentioned senior living, our mental health symposium that we partner with Sunrise Rotary on each year, this is our 3rd installment. First week of May, it's going to be on the Vibrant Years Senior Health. So I would encourage seniors to attend that, and we'll definitely share the information once we have all of the details lined out, but it's going to be about senior health. So
yes, and what I like about this is your website. You always make sure that you update the website, and your social media is also very good about promoting what you're doing and promoting what the other mental health organizations are doing.
Yeah, we try to focus on making sure we're putting out there everything that's happening in our community, because there's a lot of great things. So, Caitlin, my community specialist, will love to hear that.
Very good. Yes, you can brag on your team. Yeah, you run Lean and Mean, but you have a good team behind you.
Run Lean and Mean. Yes, Lean and Mean.
Well, very good. So I just want to say thank you very much for being on the show. And I just, I think that people are really starting to understand that there's no shame in when we are feeling like something is wrong and we need help, because we take care of our bodies. We need to take care of our brains too. And my name is Ellen Contreras, host of Treasure Coast Connector. Until next week, I miss you already.